So you're leaving your job. It's a huge change, right? And it comes with this one giant financial question. What in the world do you do with your old 401k? It's a really critical decision, and in this explainer, we're going to break down every option you have so you can make the absolute best call. Let's jump right in. You've worked so hard to save up all that money, but now you're staring at this big puzzle, and it's got pieces like taxes, penalties, and long-term growth. It can honestly feel a little overwhelming, but don't you worry, we are here to make it all crystal clear.
You know, the most important thing to remember through all of this is that you are in the driver's seat. It's your money, and you have 4 main paths you can take. We're going to be your guide to figuring out which one is right for you.
All right, let's start by just laying out the whole map. There are basically 4 fundamental choices for your old 401k. We're going to walk through each one so you get the lay of the land before we really dive deep.
Okay, here is the at-a-glance view of your 4 options. Think of it as a cheat sheet. We're looking at how taxes work, what the penalty risks are, and really who each path is best for. This is kind of the roadmap for our whole discussion, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of each one.
All right, moving on. Let's explore the 3 most common and, frankly, the most sensible options. We're going to start with the one that most people choose, and honestly, it's for some very, very good reasons.
First up is the IRA rollover. This is the most popular choice, by far. It's pretty simple. You're just moving your retirement funds into what's called an individual retirement account. This gives you way more control while letting your money keep growing tax-deferred.
Okay, now this is super important. It's not just that you do a rollover, it's how you do it. On the left, you've got the direct rollover. This is the good one. It's clean, simple. The money goes straight from one institution to another. It never even touches your hands. But on the right, that's the indirect rollover. And this is where things can get messy. Your old company sends you a check, but they are legally required to withhold 20% for taxes. Then you have just 60 days to deposit the entire original amount into a new account. To avoid some massive headaches and potential penalties, the direct route is almost always the way to go. Trust me on this one.
So, why do so many people pick an IRA? Well, the biggest reason is freedom. Total investment freedom. You're not stuck with a handful of funds your old job offered. You can invest in pretty much any stock, bond, or ETF you want. It's also an awesome way to bring all your old 401ks into one place. And if you have a Roth IRA, you can even avoid those required minimum distributions. Those are the mandatory withdrawals the government makes you take later in life.
Now, while most rollovers are pretty straightforward, some moves, like converting your traditional 401k money to a Roth IRA, can have some pretty big tax consequences. That's a move that really requires a solid strategy. If you're thinking about something like that, you can get a complimentary analysis at jungallegiancy.com to help you map it out the right way.
Okay, on to our second sensible path, rolling your old 401k into your new jobs plan. If your new company has a 401k, this can be a super simple way to just keep all your retirement savings under one roof.
And you know, there are some really compelling reasons to do this. Simplicity is a big one. Everything's in one spot. Plus, 401ks have some unique perks, like the ability to take out a loan against your balance. And sometimes, they even offer better protection from creditors.
Our third option is maybe the easiest of them all. Just do nothing. Yep, if your balance is over $5,000, you can usually just leave your money right where it is. But, and this is a big but, you'll be stuck with their investment choices and their fees, which might not be as good as what you could get somewhere else.
So why on earth would you just leave your money behind? Well, there's this one huge reason, and it's called the Rule of 55. If you leave your job in the year you turn 55, or any time after that, you can actually start taking money out of that specific 401k without that nasty 10% early withdrawal penalty. This is a game changer for anyone thinking about retiring a little early. It's a huge advantage that an IRA just doesn't have.
Okay, we've gone through the smart moves, but there's one more option we have to talk about. And I want you to think of this less like a path and more like a financial landmine you absolutely have to sidestep.
And that danger is cashing out. Just taking the money and running. I get it. It can sound tempting if you need cash right now, but this is almost always a massive financial mistake. It's loaded with taxes and penalties that can just destroy your savings.
Let's make this real for a second. Imagine you've got a $50,000 balance in that old 401k. You're under age 59 and a half, and you decide, I'm just going to cash it out. How much of that 50 grand do you actually think you'll get to keep?
You could lose over $21,000. Just let that sink in. First, bam, a 10% early withdrawal penalty. That's $5 grand, gone, instantly. Then, the entire $50,000 gets taxed as regular income. That could easily be another $11,000, or more. Factor in state taxes, and you might walk away with less than half of what you started with. It's just a catastrophic blow to your future.
Okay, wow. We've seen the good, the okay, and the downright ugly. So how do you take all this information and figure out the right move for you? Let's build a simple framework.
Here's a quick guide to help you decide. If you've got a new job, compare their 401k to an IRA. Which one has better fees, better investments? If you're in between jobs, an IRA rollover usually gives you the most control. If you're 55 or older, don't forget about that rule of 55. And this is a special one. If you own a lot of company stock that's gone way up in value, you definitely want to get some expert advice about a strategy called net unrealized appreciation, or NUA, which can save you a ton in taxes.
This really just says it all, doesn't it? Changing jobs is a big deal, but it shouldn't be a setback for your retirement. The whole key is to make a smart, informed choice to keep that money you've saved working hard for you.
So at the end of the day, this whole decision comes right back to you. It depends on your age, your job situation, the quality of the plans you have access to, and your big picture goals. So which of these paths really fits your personal financial journey?
Like, if this still feels like a lot to sort out, that's completely normal. Getting some professional guidance can be a real game changer. For personalized advice tailored to your exact situation, you can book a free call over at jungagency.com. Thanks so much for watching.